Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. This is going to be Career Readiness Explained, and it's going to be presented by the Social Science Academic Resource Center. My name is Morgan Jones, and I am one of the SSARC peer consultants that's going to be presenting today. But I'm also joined by my fellow colleague and SSARC peer consultant, Akib.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akib Rahman. I'm also a peer consultant working here at SSARC. So the Social Science Academic Research Center, it's a center located at the Social Science Gateway building. It seeks to develop students into professionals by providing graduate school and internship placement. We also schedule appointments with students to help them in their postgraduate goals.
And if you have any questions, please feel free to submit them through the Zoom Q&A or chat feature. It's going to be located at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be addressing all those questions at the very end. So we are going to get started. So first we have to think about what is career readiness. And career readiness is going to be one of the keys to ensuring a successful entrance into the workforce. It's the foundation from which you're gonna build upon a successful career. And today we're gonna be talking about 8 different career readiness competencies and kind of giving you some definitions about these different competencies, and providing some sample behaviors that you can implement, and also some personal examples as it applies to these different definitions. So you can go to the next slide. So the first thing we're going to talk about is professionalism. And professionalism is going to be important because the first thing you're going to want to think about is being aware that every work environment is going to differ widely. And you're going to, regardless of this, you're still going to want to understand and demonstrate effective work habits, and act in the interest of the larger community. So, me personally, I've worked in a couple different work environments, and they've all been extremely different. I think, can you still hear me? Because my connection's a little unstable. Okay. Yes. All these environments have been different, but you're still going to want to conduct yourself with a certain level of professionalism and kind of adapt in whatever environment you are and what that standard of professionalism looks like. I've worked in the Palmer School of Business, but I've also worked with, a nonprofit over the summer, and 2 different things, completely different roles and different expectations for me as an employee. So you just have to be cognizant of that in whatever role you're in. And I'm also going to give you an example of a sample behavior. And the one I'm going to talk about is being present and prepared. So just, always being on time and coming to work with whatever materials you need to, fulfill whatever tasks that you have in your role. And just being present, being an active listener, being able to, listen and be a resource for the people around you is going to be super important. So we can go to the next slide. Communication is very important. You're going to want to be able to clearly and effectively exchange information, ideas, facts, and perspectives with persons inside and outside of the organization. So, being able to effectively communicate with the people in your workspace is going to be, there's different levels to it. So there's written, there's verbal, there's nonverbal forms, and you want to work on all of these different forms. So written could be working on your email etiquette and being able to, work on sending professional emails with, your supervisors and your coworkers and your peers is going to be super important. Effective communication through email saves a lot of time for a lot of people. And, verbally just being able to communicate whatever you're trying to communicate between you and your coworkers effectively and efficiently is going to be important. And then, nonverbal things like body language, tone, are super important. Like being able to read body language and understand how to be an active listener, carefully listening to people and observing nonverbal cues that they're giving off to you. But yeah, it's something I've definitely had to work on, communication, working in different environments. You just have to be able to understand people and learn how to communicate with people in a professional setting. It can be intimidating, but it's not that much different from communicating to people in your everyday life. Just being cognizant of all these things is important. We can go to the next slide. And then teamwork is super important. So being able to build and maintain collaborative relationships to work effectively toward common goals while appreciating diverse viewpoints and shared responsibilities. So working in a team obviously can be kind of intimidating sometimes because there's always going to be different viewpoints and, different aspects for what you need to be fulfilling in that role, on whatever team that you're in. But it's just important to be able to adapt in whatever team that you're working in and be able to collaborate with the people that you're on this team with and be able to understand what their expectations of you are, but also what your expectations of them are as a team member. I worked on a team this past summer in my internship experience working with a nonprofit as a marketing intern, and I was on a pretty small marketing team, which required, lots of active communication all the time and, meetings and, virtual meetings on Zoom, but also lots of email correspondence, and just having to efficiently be able to communicate with your team members is going to be super important in a work environment, because time is definitely a resource and you want to be able to, effectively work with your team members in the most timely and efficient manner that you can. So important. Go to the next slide. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is leadership. And leadership is going to be important because you're going to want to be able to draw upon interpersonal and organizational skills to motivate and develop others to achieve common goals. And working on leadership is going to be super important because, people can be super motivated, I guess, in a work environment by people who are, really doing their jobs in the best way that they can. And an example that I have of this is working under my supervisor at my past summer experience that I had. And she was just very I was very inspired by her because she was very organized and she was very, complimentary to her team members. And she was very just someone that I would want to be like if I, eventually working in her type of position. And she was definitely just really exemplified a strong, leader in her role. And it's true that people who are doing their jobs in the most efficiently and the best way that they can are role models to others, and they do motivate other people to be able to do the best that they can do in their position. So I'm proof of that. I definitely am inspired by people, in different roles, like my supervisors and people that work above me, and their work ethic definitely motivates me to want to be better in whatever role that I'm doing. So we can go to the next slide.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. So let's talk about technology. In the post-pandemic world, the role of technology has increased a lot. So who knew Zoom 2 years ago? And now it's an app that everyone has on their phone. We couldn't even think about working from home 2-3 years ago, but now it's going to be the new normal. So the role of technology is changing and it's adapting with the modern world, and we have to adapt with it too. So understanding and leveraging this technology ethically to help us efficiently complete our task in a professional setting, it's a thing that any employer will look on. So we have to quickly adapt to new technologies, example, Zoom, Google Meet, or other things that we are seeing right now, even the UCI Duo thing. Manipulating information and constructing ideas to use this new technology to achieve strategic goals is another thing that any employer will look in. And yeah, can we go to the next slide? So problem solving. So in any professional settings, we will like come upon like many problems, and we have to use our instant skills to solve them on site. And a good example of it would be like last week while working on campus with the Student Outreach and Retention Center, we were hosting an event, and we were checking students in, and the UCI Duo thing acted up and it was not working properly. So this also ties up with the last slide that I talked about technology. It's adapting with new technologies. It was not working, and there was a long queue of people waiting to get in. So we had to call the OIT center and look for the next step and prioritize our action to solve the problem instantly. So I think this is something that any professionals will like, we will face this in our future. Like, I would say on a daily basis, not even a daily basis, but a lot. So we have to have the skills to solve those problems and adapt with it accordingly. So we have to gather and analyze information that we have around us, and then we have to use the best of our ability to solve the problem. Can we go to the next slide? So equity and inclusion. So we live in a country that's made by immigrants, so diversity will be in our core, and this diversity will be in our core, and in any work environment that we'll go to, we will come across people from wide range of nationality, religion, sexuality, and race. So we have to be open about who we are working with or what people we're working it around. We have to create an inclusive environment. We should not engage in any racist behavior that might hurt our peers or our, yeah. I can give you like an example of it. Like when I was in South Korea, like doing my study abroad, I was in a team of like seven. We were like seven of us. I was from Bangladesh. My friends were from Vietnam, Philippines, Korea, Mexico, and China. So we had no people from the same country. We were all from like seven different countries, and we had all our like different food perspective, like food preferences and different religious preferences. So we had to be open towards each other and work around each other's preferences so that no one feels hurt or feels left out or feels attacked by anyone. So we have to practice this in a professional setting too. We have to be flexible and adapt to diverse environments. We have to respect each other, keep an open mind, and we have to broaden our perspective of the world. Can we go to the next slide? Career and self-development. So this is the last one that I'll talk about. Is it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have or how long you've been working in a company for, there's always room for learning something new. So like developing our personal learning, becoming more aware of our strengths and working on our weaknesses. This is something that any professional should do day in and day out. We should navigate our careers, opportunities, and work on networking to build a more better relationship with our organization or the people we're working with. So this will go a long way in our career development, and we have to seek and embrace the development opportunities, establish, maintain, or leverage relationship with people who can help us professionally. So networking, it's a very important thing. And these are some of the skills that we can use to develop our like we can work on our self-development, which will also help in our professional career too. can we go to the next slide? So I have two resources for you guys that can help you becoming more aware, like prepare you for career readiness. One is the Social Science Academic Research Center, or SSARC. So if you go to the SSARC website, you will see there's option for option for setting up a consultation with me or any of the pro staff that we have at SSARC. We can set up a consultation. We also have different resources, like we have internship database. We have toolkits that can help you search for internship. We also have a timeline for graduate school. So that will be a great help for you. We have another resource on campus, that's the Division of Career Pathways, or DCP. So the DCP works on preparing our anteaters to face the real world, the real professional world. So there's resources like VMOC, they have sample resumes, sample cover letters, and they also, I think they also host mock interviews so that they can prepare you to do the real interview. It can be both graduate school and in a professional settings. So you can definitely check that out too. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can leave it in the Q&A option, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. One, I think we got a few questions in the RSVP form. I think one student wanted to know how to prepare for like one question that we always get is like how to prepare for an interview, or how to like dress up, or like for an interview in a professional settings. So I would say just have some notes ready, prepare beforehand, right? One thing that I do that helps me is talking in front of a mirror. It might sound really really cheesy, but it actually helps. Like I look at myself while practicing in front of a mirror, and gives me it gives me like more confidence, and it also shows me where I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. It makes me like rethink my hand gestures and stuff. So I would definitely say practice beforehand, have some bullet points and notes ready so that you can go over them. And as I said before, in the resources center, you can always book an appointment with the Division of Career Pathways. They have trained professional who can help you practice for an interview. You can also schedule a consultation appointment with the Social Science Academic Research Center. We are more than happy to help you guys prepare for anything that you need to face the real professional world. Do you have any other questions? You guys can also, like, if you are more like unsure of your resume or cover letter, you can send the SSARC team your resume and cover letter, and we will be more than happy to go over it and help you perfect it so that you can send it to any job or organizations that you're looking for. We also have some examples of cover letters and resumes on our SSARC website. I think the website link is in the chat. You can go into our website and you can look at the different examples. I think that might help too.
There's also a career readiness worksheet that you can find on the DCP website, or DCP website. And it kind of helps you to expand on the competencies that we talked about today. I can include that. We'll include that in 1 second. But it basically just like there's like different questions that you can answer and kind of just assess where you are in career readiness. And it's a good tool. I kind of looked through it and answered some of the questions to myself because I was thinking about career readiness while I was working on this and just thinking about what I can do to kind of work on that and build my foundation in that. But I will include that link in the chat as well. Give me 1 second.
So if we don't have any more questions, I think we can conclude the presentation for today. Thank you everyone for coming to our small informative presentation. If you need any more information, you can always reach out to SARC. We have virtual office hours. We have virtual front desk from 3 to 5 every day. So you can just drop by and there will always be someone who, or you can call us, send us an email, or better just schedule a consultation and we'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you guys for coming today. We hope to see you soon. Bye.